Welcome to Friday Night Lights End Zone Overtime on YouTube, KCRG YouTube. Thanks for joining us. We're going to wrap up the night. And it was a pretty good first night, Jack.
Great night of football. I mean, when you're shooting highlights, sometimes it's hit or miss. I'd like to say I got a little lucky tonight with
I didn't get as lucky as far as touchdowns.
A lot of touchdowns.
Good football, some good hitting in my game.
You just want to hit somebody that isn't wearing the same uniform as you.
I'm just shocked at how big and how hard these kids hit. I played that game at one time. How did I do that? I would be dead if I got...
They get right up, too.
Yeah,
very seldom do you see a kid go down and stay down.
I'd be dead if I got hit like that now.
So, all right, think about that,
let's talk about some scores that we didn't get a chance to get on the show tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing about high school football. We'd love to get them all. Alburnett, Northland, that is just a classic 1A football score, 12-6. Other scores of note, Cedar Falls they've got some maulers up front. They take down a talented Prairie team that is going to be a lot better. They're very young.
Yeah, Prairie, very young. A lot of sophomores on that team, but that still surprises me.
That surprises me too. 42-28 surprises me from Regina Liberty, just because West Liberty's new coach, Jason Dumont, came from Iowa City, Regina.
So he had to know half the plays, right?
At least a few. And West
I bet that was something. I wonder if those coaches they're all best friends, by the way. They all played for Iowa. I wonder if they went back and forth and had a little bit of fun before that game.
I wonder. Well, we'll have to ask, because we'll certainly see Regina quite soon, and West Liberty as well. Western Dubuque and West Delaware are two different teams, they're two different classes, but both should be playoff
They're going to be
contenders.
very good football teams this year, and what a terrific game, 21-13.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact both those teams are loaded this year.
They are aiming, each of them, for the Dome. Wash and Hempstead are two teams. That game did just go final, 48-38.
Wow. That's
Hempstead
a lot of points.
over Wash. That's one of those games where I just I want to see both of these teams. What the heck happened in a 48-38 game?
Well, you saw a game like that tonight.
We'll get to it in just a second, but I know you wanted to start with another game.
Yeah. All right, we're going to start off with a special night at the Little Rose Bowl in West Branch. The Bears taking on the defending state champs, but it was special right here because of that man right there. The Butch Peterson statue unveiled tonight, 6-foot bronze statue. Of course, we lost Butch in 2023 to blood cancer. Spent 40 years helping that community out and just is beloved in West Branch. But, I don't know why they scheduled this team for that game because Williamsburg is really, really good.
I don't think Butch would have wanted it any other way. Bring it on.
Right.
Bring on whoever you like.
This guy right here, Race Heitman.
Race Heitman, who we saw last year score 4 touchdowns before the other team. I think it was South Tama even got the ball.
He scored 2 touchdowns on punt returns and 2 pick sixes before the offense even took the field. He's the
type of guy who, if you are a fan of a football team, you want him on your fantasy team because he's making tackles on defense.
I think he's one of the best players in the state. I really think he's just a special player, and he has some interest. He has some Division I offers. Doesn't have one yet from Iowa, boy. If I was Iowa, and I can't even tell you what position he's going to play. All I can tell you is he is a football player. He's got length. He's got a nose for the football. He's got unbelievable hands. How about the catch he made in the Unidome?
Yes,
back-to-back catches.
Gets a huge catch and gets both feet down.
Yeah,
he's a football player. Yeah. I think
you could put him at safety.
Yeah.
If he grows big, you could put him. You maybe even be a linebacker someday. I don't know the answer to that, but right now he'd be a safety or he'd be a wide receiver.
Yeah, he's a little like Derek Weiskopf, his old teammate, where he can kind of play all around the field. I remember LeVar Woods told me once, Cooper DeJean is just a football player. He's not a cornerback or a punt returner or anything. And I'm not saying they're the same people, but Race Heitman kind of reminds me of that. And Williamsburg,
he can literally do everything. Because he's a hard hitter. I mean, he is just a football player.
He also loves football.
One thing you can't teach is ball skills. He has amazing ball skills, like Cooper had in the catches that he made. So that really goes a long ways in football. If you play super hard, you've got the length, and you have hands and ball skills like that, you can play at the highest level.
And it helps when you have a nice quarterback. I saw Grant Hooker out there taking place.
So he had gotten hurt. He had gotten hurt last year, earlier in the year. So this is his first real chance. And I talked to Coach before the game, and he really likes him. So I think they're going to have a chance to head back to the Dome again this year. They really are.
I don't know how long Kurt Ritchie celebrated, but I hope it was for a little while, Coach Ritchie, but maybe another chance to get back to the Dome.
All right, let's talk about the game you went to. Iowa City West at Liberty, and I don't think they've stopped scoring.
I mean, Scott Chandler is a former tight end, so he likes offense, but I cannot imagine he was extremely pleased with a 54-45, I believe, was the final score. West scores first with their 4-year starter, Jack Wallace, who is he's just a dude, just a veteran.
Yeah, he's been there for so long playing varsity football.
And then you get Liberty, who just drive it down the field every time. They were slow and methodical. Owen Drapeau with that touchdown. But the thing about West, even though they lost the game, they might have the two best athletes on the field, and Julian Manson, who you don't see, number 3, and number 19, Mason Woods, right here, LeVar's son.
Yeah, what do you think of Mason?
He is just fast, makes people miss, a little like
good
Heitman.
Size, yeah.
He'll play at Iowa. I'm not sure exactly what he's going to play as a college player, but right now all I know is you just got to get him the ball. I think Wes is going to look back at the tape and say, well, we did okay. We had some great plays here or there, but I think our best plays were we just got our playmakers the ball and just.
I got to ask you about Liberty. Obviously, he played for the Buffalo Bills. They never quite scored like this, but they had some pretty good offenses at times. Do they have a defense? Does it look like they can play defense? They've had a good offense for a long time now. They've always been able to throw the football.
I am a little worried about Liberty's defense, but I'm not overly concerned because the dudes on their defense are a little bit undersized, but they have that neck pad energy. They're just short and stocky and tough. And even when they were getting beat, they got right back up. I was really impressed with Liberty's defense and special teams after giving up that kick return touchdown to the aforementioned Woods. They could have put their heads down, but they didn't. They were right back up. So I think if Liberty faces a team maybe a little bit less talented than West, could be a little different.
Is their offense that good on most nights they can outscore the other team?
I don't know if 54 points, 50-plus points is going to happen, but with their two-headed attack of Owen Drapeau and Sutton Kohler, who I saw also, the senior running back, they're tough. They can wear teams out as well. This is not your typical Liberty team that we might have seen the last couple of years. They were throwing it all around the yard. Liberty might not be that big, but they are tough. They are willing to run the ball into the back of the center.
Well, that's good here because you got to do that sometimes. Let's slow things down with the Xavier Waverly Shell Rock game, and this was a slugfest. Only 7 points scored in the first half. Xavier lost a lot of starters from last year's team. Waverly Shell Rock punched them in the mouth early, but they couldn't convert on this field goal. And then Xavier came back with sophomore quarterback Cash Parks. Love the name. And he's got some size, and he looks like he has some talent. And he led them down the field with a couple of nice passes. And eventually they do get in the end zone, scoring the only touchdown of the first half. They hold on to win this game 14-7. And somehow, Schulte is one of the best coaches in the history of Iowa. He really knows how to coach this game. So he can take whatever talent he has and win. And he's going to beat you some ways. It might be with defense. Sometimes if he has a good offense, with offense. But he's going to find a way to beat you.
He's extremely adaptable. He knows what he has. And even if we as media members are watching the game and we're not quite sure yet, Schulte is figuring it out. He is one of those high school coaches, and there are several college coaches like Kirk Ferentz out there where you just kind of have to trust the dude at the top, and it doesn't matter if some of the players are young, some of the players are undersized, or guys you don't really know the names of. You're going to know their names soon enough, and it's because of it all starts from the top with Dwayne Schulte. He's not going to take any of the credit, but it starts with him.
Yeah, that's why his son is so good for the Hawkeyes.
And his son, if he doesn't want to do dental school, could be a coach himself.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked that he doesn't do dental, that he doesn't. Well, he wants to play pro football, but I'm surprised that he doesn't want to coach like his other, his brothers have coached. I like Xavier. They're going to continue to get better as the season goes on. So watch out for the Saints. Let's go to Lisbon Durant. That was the game that I was at, and they have this little tiny running back named Tiernan Boots. They list him at 5'8". I'm going 5'5", 5'6". He's probably about 150 pounds, but he is so quick. And he can lower his shoulder and run people over, keeps the legs moving. They're fun to watch. They went undefeated in the regular season last year before they lost in the second round of the playoffs. I think they lost some pretty good talent, but this team is big. They have some big offensive linemen. They've got a quarterback that looks like that he has some talent. So it looks like they can throw the football and run the football. So I think they can make another run this year and get back in the playoffs. And they're a fun team to watch because they play so hard. And this is a game I was at. It's small high school football, but power and the hitting in this game are kind of like, wow, these guys are hitting.
They are. And Tiernan Boots, who you see, number 7, 5'8", 165 is what they're listing at. I don't know about that, Scotty.
I'm going 5'5", 5'6", but he's fun to watch. He's so shifty and low to the ground.
He's a wrestler, too, and a track sprinter. I mean, those Lisbon guys do
that's
everything.
Why Lisbon's good every year in football, because wrestling translates to football and tackling and the low center of gravity.
Yeah, and I like the way Dakota Clark, the quarterback, you don't see a lot of throws on the run in 1A, Class A and 1A football.
He's pretty athletic, yeah.
And he can throw it.
Yeah,
so
he's their power returner. He does a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I think they got a chance to have another pretty good season. Let's talk about Clear Creek Amana at Marion tonight, and the debut for that guy right there, Lance Peterson, coming over from Mount Vernon, and talk about somebody that can coach. He can coach.
Yeah, he's been ready to just take over a team that has the talent that Clear Creek Amana has just at the top. With you won't see him in the highlights, but number 66, Brody Clubb, is going to play at the Division I level. He is super, super talented. And then when you run and plays like this, like that is such a what was it, a wing tee? Like you can never think of that in the lab unless you're a fantastic coach like Lance Peterson. Ethan Weiss, number 8, the guy taking that handoff to the house. I think Clear Creek Amana, this Marion team has been up and down lately. They've been right on the edge, and you kind of feel for them for being, they were often, I think 2 years in a row now, 17th in the RPI.
They just missed the playoffs.
But Lance is
well, they came out and they punched. Clear Creek Amana scored first, but Clippers kept their composure. Part of that's their coach, and I think they got it. I can't wait to see what Lance does in the future at Clear Creek Amana.
Yeah, it's never going to happen in a single season, especially for a new coach at a new team, but this is a team that could seriously make some noise in the UD Dome. Maybe not this year, but quite soon.
And I hope he gets to see the video of the unveiling of his dad's statue, because that was really special, and I know how hard he worked to make that happen. They have a great thing going at West Branch. They give away a scholarship in Butch's name every year, 2 scholarships actually, one male and one female every year, and they're doing some great things there.
Yeah, some things are just way, way bigger than football, and Butch Peterson was the type of coach that was more than a coach.
I miss him already, man. I really do.
He's coached to the football team, but he's coached to the town, and I think
these head football coaches are the leaders, especially in the smaller towns. They are the leaders of the community. It's happened time and time again in the state of Iowa, and there was no one better than Lance. All right, I think we're going to wrap it up. All right, we're going to have all the highlights and scores online, KCRG.com. Go check it out.